So I was watching this little video that somebody had put on YouTube not that long ago that was about certainty, and it's kind of this mockery of how everybody during this time is so certain of their own opinions and they just know exactly what's going on, and how all of us seem to be experts now in infectious disease, and we're so certain of our own opinions, and the more that we think we're right, well, the more that we are, apparently. It's this weird thing about how all of us seem to be coming into this space where we just know way better than anybody else. And I don't think that this is unique to this time frame. I think this is a part of the way that humanity has been all the way back since the Garden of Eden. We think we know better than anybody that seems to have authority over us. But at some point, we need to learn what it looks like to submit and to obey, to humble ourselves. Particularly as Christians, we're called to do this. We're called to obey God. We're called to submit ourselves to one another, to look after and care for one another, but also to respect the authority of those who are above us. And man, that is hard, especially for those of us that might have kind of a bit of a problem with authority, you might say. I remember as a kid, my parents used to say that if they pushed me too hard on something, they asked me to do something, and then if they pushed, the answer was always no, and then I would push back harder the harder that they pushed. But if they gave me some space, sometimes I would come around because, well, I thought about it and I had agreed, and then I would go and do it. But that's no longer obedience, is it? I was reading this book by Thomas à Kempis. It's called The Imitation of Christ, and he talks about how if we are to imitate Christ, we need to learn sometimes to simply obey, even if we disagree. He says, "Everyone, it is true, wishes to do as he pleases and is attracted to those who agree with him." Sounds like today. "But if God be among us, we must at times give up our opinions for the blessings of peace." There comes a time, he says, when our opinions do not matter as much as the unity of the whole. And that's what it means, I think, to be a part of a Christian community. And that's what it's called to. That's what we are called to at times, to give up our own opinions in order to work well together as a community. Even if we have everything figured out and we know exactly what's right and what's true, which, come on, quite frankly, that can't be the case. We have to admit we are wrong about all kinds of things all the time. But he says, even if it is true, that doesn't make any difference about what we might have to do. He says, it may happen too that while one's own opinion may be good, so even if your opinion is good, refusal to agree with others when reason and occasion demand it is a side of pride and obstinacy. So even if, he says, even if you're right, your opinion is better, even if that is the case, there are times in which we should, as Christians who are committed to working within a community together, there are times in which we should give up that opinion in order to maintain unity in the community. I really think this is something that we need to work on as a humanity, and I give thanks for this community that I'm a part of here now in Woody Nook and all of the other places that I've been a part of, that I've learned ways in which to give some of that up. Yes, I still need to work on it, absolutely, as do you, as does everyone listening here. But sometimes it's good for us and it's necessary for us to give up even good and right opinions in order to work on maintaining unity in community.